Good afternoon, I'm Diane Miser, and today we are going to talk about ADHD. Currently, about 3 to 7% of all students that are in school have been diagnosed with ADHD. 12% of children and teens have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. This number has grown by 43% since 2003. This is a statistic from 2011. So there are like 5.8 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 who have ADHD. The studies that I found did not have a concrete answer or did not actually have like an underlying reason why so many children are now being diagnosed with ADHD. And this is a problem because we need to make sure that students are not just being medicated because we just think that they have a problem. Some students, are very intelligent and they just get bored in the classroom because they know everything that is being taught. And so it's so redundant that they just can't stop fidgeting, or they have to move, they have to do something. It's important, though, that we do figure out why the number of ADHD students are increasing, because we don't want to over-medicate children. We want to be able to have them thrive in an environment, no matter what the environment is. Children with ADHD have problems paying attention. They have problems staying on focus. They are impulsive. They are forgetful. It's not only in school. Sometimes they have some of these problems at home and other social settings, but in school becomes an issue when they become disruptive or they become a distraction for other students who are actually trying to stay on task and trying to learn. Students, when they're unable to concentrate on a teacher or an educator, they miss a lot of information that can help them on their assignments, that can help them with the testing that they're doing, quizzes, exams. This makes it difficult for those students. Sometimes they are unable to participate in class because they're interested in extraneous stimuli instead of academic stimuli or education stimuli. And this is a problem because students do not know what they're being taught. They have no idea where the teacher's at. They may have missed something at the beginning, missed something at the end, missed something in the middle. And so they have a lot of problems participating in school. Not every student with ADHD demonstrates the same characteristics or has the same degree of behavior. There are students who do not need to be placed in special education that have ADHD. There are some students that do need to be placed in special education that have ADHD. And then there are some students that have ADHD that have no problems in school. They stay on task, they stay focused, they can do their schoolwork, and everything goes for them. In 2004, according to IDEA, ADHD fell underneath other health impairment, and for a student to qualify for special education services, the student has to exhibit that it has an academic deficit related to their ADHD, and they have to exhibit characteristics of ADHD. So this can be quite a thing. So for classrooms, there are certain things that educators can do that can actually help students who have ADHD or who show signs of ADHD. Students that have a shortened attention span, their academic assignments need to be brief. The feedback needs to be accurate and immediate. Longer projects you need to break up into smaller sections so that they have the capability of doing each section to put it all together as a longer project. They need possibly a time limit on fulfilling those tasks that they are doing. So attention to task improves when the student with ADHD is engaged with a teacher directed as opposed to independent seat work activities. Also, teaching note-taking strategies increases the benefits of the direct institution, and both comprehensive and on-task behavior improve to development. Now, one thing that I find interesting and I think is great is class-wide peer tutoring. This provides so many different instructional variables known to the importance setting for students with ADHD because for success, it provides frequent, immediate feedback. So when we have class-wide peer tutoring, there might be one student who is really great in something and another student who isn't so great in something, but they can help each other and they can all earn academic gains helping one another. This is something that I think is fantastic because not only are you catering to the ADHD students without them actually maybe realizing what you are doing, but you are actually catering to the whole class and you are empowering and helping each other build each other up and helping each other succeed academically. Based on evidence, children with ADHD by afternoon, academically, they're done. They are done. So giving out the instructions, the information early in the morning and keeping them focused in the morning is the best way to help students with ADHD. The lessons need to be carefully constructed and important points clearly identified. A lecture outline is helpful for note-taking and it increases the memory of the main ideas. Students with ADHD perform better on memory tasks with materials is meaningfully structured for them. The rules given to students with ADHD must be well-defined, specific, and frequently enforced. You definitely have to lay out daily what they're doing. You need to do a daily review. You need to make sure that the children with ADHD have clear information, it's precise, and they know what is going on and what needs to be done for them. If they are still having problem academically even after you have gone over, maybe there's something else you need to do. Maybe you need to find a different kind of stimuli for them, whether it be there's a board dedicated with all the instructions on it so that they can go back and keep looking at it to make sure that they are doing what they need to do. Sometimes it's as simple as just, tapping them on the shoulder and saying, hey, can I help you with anything? What are you working on right now? What should you be working on right now? And getting them back on task if they have fallen off of task. It's different with children with ADHD who have the behavioral, because that's where sometimes you need to have someone come in and help you with their behavior, or they have to be removed from the actual classroom setting to get their behavior under control. But that's just the way the brain of a child with ADHD works. It's constantly going, it does not shut off, and sometimes they just need to get away from that. Students with ADHD need to make sure that the audio is right for them, the visual is right for them, and to make sure that, sometimes maybe you can use a tape recorder. Most classrooms nowadays have computers, they have iPads. I've seen some classrooms where the kids have to have headphones on so they can listen to it auditorily. They need to see it, maybe on an iPad physically, and then they need to write it on a piece of paper just to keep them on task to get all of that done. So students with ADHD, there are many things that we can do in the classroom as educators to actually keep their focus and help them and make sure that they stay on task and that they can still learn in a regular learning environment just like all the other students do. We never want to make a student who has any kind of disability feel like they're out of place. We want to make everything as easy as possible for everyone, and working together and staying on task is one of those ways that you can do that. Students with ADHD definitely have a harder time staying focused, learning, and being able to retain and remember. So sometimes they need maybe a little bit longer time to take a test, or maybe the wording in the tests or quizzes need to be a little different for them. You can always find words that will stimulate students with ADHD, that stand out to them, that will bring help to them when they need it the most. Thank you for joining me.